We will start with a new chapter, that is the learning concept and theory. What is learning all about? Learning is a process through which there is a permanent change in your behavior. It is a process through which your behavior is changed permanently. If there is a change in behavior for a temporary period of time through learning, then this will not be called learning, this will be the reflection of learning. The main prime motive of learning is the permanent change in your behavior. Now the principle of learning process is entirely based upon feedback, active learning, reinforcement and overt learning. Suppose there is a change in behavior just because of prolonged disease or some psychological problem, or that might be termed as schizophrenia, then that cannot be termed as a learning, because this change in behavior is entirely due to some distorted brain or some disease. So learning means there should be some change in behavior, positive change in behavior, and that should be proclaimed in your practical life. If you have learned something and that is not associated with your behavior, then that will not be termed as a learning. So principle of learning is feedback. Feedback means it is a two-way process. If trainer is giving training to the trainee, then trainee who is getting training from the trainer will get something if feedback process is given from the instructor to the trainee. Quite possible that if there is any lacking from the side of the trainee, then that will be reformed if the instruction is provided by the trainer to the trainee. Other is active learning. This active learning is entirely based upon active participation from both sides. It means one who wants to learn something from something, then he should try to have active participant in that learning process. Then he can gain something from the active participation. So this is not the dormant process. Here participation is prominent, because if there is no participation, you cannot have learning from the available resources. Reinforcement means repetition. It means if something is repeated again and again, then its impression on your brain will be long lasting. If something is repeated, then quite possible that will be learned very easily, because you have not been left alone. Your brain is getting same signal again and again, that is repetition, then that will become a part of your learning. Overlapping means repetition of same thing, that will also be the part of your learning. So these are the determinants through which your learning becomes easy. Now we come to the determinants of learning. That is the motive. What is the motive behind learning? Stimuli, reinforcement, attention, effort, recognition, reward and retention. These are the elements through which your learning process is guided or gets speed. Motive is the motive, the intention behind the learning. If your intention behind the learning is high, then quite possible your learning process will be high. Suppose someone is from affluent upper class family and someone from poor family, then the need of job for both the category will be different. A person with affluent upper class family will take the job is in easy way and compared to those who are from poor family. So the motive behind the job will guide their learning process. The person who are from poor family will get the things very easily compared to those who are from affluent upper class family, because their motive is not to get job. That job is not very much prominent for those who are from good background. So motive also guides the path for active or fast learning. Other is stimulus. It means the size of the stimulus, the size of things or object also plays a prominent role in shaping the learning process. The bigger the size of the stimulus, the bigger your learning process will be, because it has indelible impression on your mindset. Now the next element is reinforcement. It means the repetition. If someone is doing something good and that performance is rewarded, then quite possible the good behavior will be repeated again and again in future. So reinforcement means repetition of things, and that repetition and award will guide his performance in a better way. If someone has done something right and that right action has been rewarded in a positive way, then future the reoccurrence of that thing will be much more. Attention means your attention towards the learning process. It means suppose you are giving too much attention to the learning process, then you can grab the things very easily compared to those who are not paying too much attention to the object of learning process. So your attention also plays a good role in conceiving the ideas which is being taught to you. Effort. It means how much effort you are paying to learn something. Effort is also the part of your stimulus. If you are paying too much effort to learn something, then that thing will come very easily to you compared to those who are paying least effort to learn something. So effort in itself is the stimulus which enhances your learning process. Now the recognition. It means if what is being taught to you and you are paying too much attention to those things, then that thing will be recognized by your brain very easily, because your brain works on the principle of retention. Now reward. Reward is also the good part of your learning process, because if a person is awarded again and again for his good behavior, then reoccurrence of that behavior will be much more in coming future. Now retention is how easily you are going to retain those things what you have learnt in past. If retention is retention comes in your mind again and again, then that retention will become the part of your behavior, and you can learn something. What you have learned something in past can be retained by your brain very easily. So the essence of entire learning process is that learning is a psychological process through which there is a permanent change in your behavior, and it is reflected by your action. If you have learned something and it is not associated by your behavior, then this will not be termed as a learning. If there is any change in behavior just because of disease or psychological problem, then this will not be termed as a learning. So this is the overall development, and there are several factors, several determinants of learning through which it can be enhanced. Now we come to the next point, that is types of learning. There are several types of learning that will be termed as a classical learning, operant learning, social learning, and now we come to the classical learning. Classical learning process is entirely based on the thought of a stimulus and its effect. If someone is trying to teach something, then there are prominent role of stimulus. Stimulus plays a prominent role in classical learning. The classical learning concept is entirely based on one's behavior can be changed by repetition of the same action again and again, and by giving him a stimulus. If you want to enhance if a manager want to have some improvement in the action of the employee, then he can enhance the incentive. That incentive will work as a stimulus, and the performance of the staff may be enhanced. So classical learning process was given by Pavlov. So this concept was implemented on a dog. The dog was given a piece of meat, and that dog started giving saliva response. Again, dog was given meat, started showing saliva response, and that meat was again associated with the bell. The bell was rung, then meat was served to the dog again. But that for the first time the saliva response was not given when the bell was rung alone. Again, bell was rung, meat was served, the dog started giving saliva response. After some time, only bell was rung and no meat was served, despite the dog started giving saliva response. This shows that after the repetition of the behavior again and again, that becomes the part of your behavior. So one's behavior can be modified by stimulus, by serving a stimulus. Other thought is that after classical learning, we come to the operant learning. Operant learning is entirely based on the thought of people or individuals repeat only those behavior which is rewarded, and they don't repeat those behavior which is punished at the initial stage. It means individual always repeat the behavior which has positive consequence, and don't try to repeat those behavior which has negative consequence. If it is punished, someone has been punished for his wrongdoing, then its reoccurrence of the same thing in the future will be very less. That is the concept of operant learning. Now we come to the classical learning. The concept of classical learning is entirely based on human behavior. A person or any human being is gregarious. It means he is a part of society and he learns something from the society when he is interested in the society. It means if he starts interacting with society, then he gets several rules or several behavioral aspects he learns from the society. So this is the part of social learning. Now we come to other learning process that is termed as cognitive learning process. As the word signifies that cognition is entirely related to your brain. Cognitive learning means this concept was given by Longman. So in this concept, the fundamental of this concept is that this experiment was conducted on the rat. A rat was given a gauge. In that gauge, a food was served at the corner of the maze, and the rat was supposed to reach the food just by rolling over the marble which was placed in the mid of the board. After having much attempt, at the end of the last attempt, the rat reached the food just by having more and more attempts. So in the long run, the rat recognized only those paths which led him to the success, that is his food, and forgot all the paths. It means this experiment shows that out of several failures, you would recollect only those paths which leads you to the success. It means our brain has some cognitive process through which we try to recollect, recognize, and interpret those things which is very easily leads you to the success. So this is the cognitive process and its learning. Apart from that, there are several other learning process that is termed as reinforcement theory. Positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, schedule of reinforcement, extinction, and shaping. These are the other things through which we can learn something. Positive reinforcement means what? It means if you are doing something right, you will be awarded positively. That will enhance your performance again and again in coming future. That is the part of positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement means if you are doing something wrong and you are criticized in mid of all the available person, then in future your chances of reputation will come down. That is a punishment thought. That is a negative reinforcement. Schedule of reinforcement means some part is divided in variable, some part is divided in fixed. If staff is paid fixed salary and apart from fixed salary he is being paid variable salary, then this will balance his behavior. And extinction. Extinction means the extinction means if someone is